Okay, and now for looking at the forecast. Testing. Yesterday. You all need to make hats like this and pass it around. We got capped yesterday. We had the same problem the day before. And if you look at some of the lower temperatures, it was about 13 degrees C on the tornado day, and then it was like 13.5 or 14 yesterday. And so not much of a difference in the cap strength. And we were several hundred miles north. It's just, that can be the difference. I wrote a paper years ago called The Cap Boom or Bust. And I wrote about how fine line it is between what we got the day before yesterday and yesterday. The difference between having tornadoes on the ground and having clear sky and sunburn, very, very slim. We had tremendous felicities yesterday at the low levels. We had tremendous humidity, as you know, especially up in Yankton. We had to be there. Because if you don't go there, you know what's going to happen, right? You're going to get one of those bottled South Dakota events. That's what happens on that. Okay, so looking at yesterday a little bit, what happens is when you get this big, huge trough and low, bringing all this cold air south, you get a corresponding warming that goes on to the east of that. So we are getting a lot of warming. The 10 degrees C is all the way up to the North Dakota, South Dakota border here in southern Minnesota and all the way up here. But I was kind of optimistic about this. This was going to occur. Some cells down here in central Nebraska. Eventually they did form, but they were very, very high base. They were mostly in the warm air, and they were not anchored on any boundaries. Looking at the cap yesterday afternoon while sitting and roasting in Yankton, here's the 13-degree isotherm right there, 12 degree up. So we were right there, 13, 13.5 in there. And it'd be nice to have lost the sounding to see whether or not that was real or whether it was even warmer than that. If you look at Omaha's sounding last night, we have this cap still there, and with the moisture being this far back, if you do your little dry adiabat or mixing ratio, you come up here to your LCLs, and then you come up to your sounding for your LFC, you'll find out that you've got a pretty good amount of SIN left over. In fact, here at 0Z, surface parcels would be minus 146. You're still on the negative side of that at 0Z. And mostly stable. So all of these were in the negative column for SIN. And the capes are great. I mean, they're almost 5,000 joules per kilogram. So cape, nothing wrong with the cape. And Lipton indices, look at those. Minus 12, minus 15. Those are some pretty darn good numbers here. So it's just a matter of boom or bust, and yet we had a boom and we had a bust. Day to day, back to that. Very little difference in the atmosphere. Of course, just to give you an idea for those of you, just to give you an idea what the sounding looks like here, the temperature profile, the dew point profile. We have our saturation mixing ratio here, and the temperature coming up, the dry adiabat, that's your lifted condensation level, typically where your cloud bases are. And then you lift that on up. This is a terrible sounding, by the way. It's, LFC here, lots of SIN here, very little K, and that's the LFC. The level of free convection, that's where your parcels, when they hit that, they're free to go. So, level of free convection, it's all free from there. So that's a very bad sounding, but that's what we had yesterday. Very similar to that. The supercell composite, again, this is a cape base. For those of you, supercell composite is cape. It's got a helicity factor in there. It's got a volt wind factor in there. And it was showing from the Yankton area on down the Missouri River here, basically very high values in the supercell composite. It's an empirically derived quantity, and studies have shown that high SCPs have a better chance. But you depend on the cap. Another cape-based type of parameter is the EHI, and it's based on cape and helicity, and then minus a empirical number derived. And if you look at that, we're right around the east South Dakota, northeast Nebraska, very high there. So that's why we went up there. It looked very good from the instability standpoint. So something wrong with instability. I was talking about the cat holding everything down, like the old pressure cooker, and it stayed. It's not going to overturn that. And then just another idea, I love back winds here in the flow, especially when you have winds coming aloft out of the west and up in South Dakota. It was all back. We had the system over here, kind of MCS, laid out a nice cool boundary. You knew that when you went from Norfolk up to Yankton, how it started to get hazy, and then moisture was just holding in the atmosphere up there. It was back in the fall. And the front eventually got up there. Visible satellite last night. All this was socked in. We wanted cool temperatures. It was actually 49 at the very time we were cooking in Yankton. It was 49 around the city. And then you had this, these cells that were developing, and of course they were just large puffs. All right, so today we have moderate risk and internal probabilities. For the NAM here, there is temperature, surface. We have the furnace, still to our southwest over the Panhandle and western Oklahoma, southern Kansas. We don't want to go there, we just want to really cook. For moisture, this is this narrow plume of moisture we've been plagued with for weeks, and then it dries out to the east, and we have pretty unidirectional flow here, south to north. Not much of any dry line punches here coming in, but it's pretty moist in that 200 to 300 mile band wide. Looking at here, 850 temperatures, very warm up here in southern Kansas to southern Nebraska. Looking at 700, it begins to cool off to the west. This is bringing lots of cold air. Remember, I showed from earlier that we had minus 13 and minus 14s up here in northeast Nebraska. Well, that's dropping right here. This yellow is actually 10. So it's going to drop down into the single digits in Celsius. So much steeper lapse rate today, much better today for convection. Now the big powerhouse coming in with the Jet 500. This gives an S shape. So this S here. So there's two plays for today. When you see this S shape, if you have south winds coming in, your best turning is going to be further south. And you get unidirectional flow. And then where this curves around to the east, then south winds, you get best turning up here. So you've got northern Wisconsin, northern Minnesota as your target. Want to go there? Okay. And then northern Kansas is your other target. Okay. So looking at your capes, oh, you got some nice capes up there. You sure you don't want to go to Wisconsin? Okay. And then you've got from Dodge City on up through our area. Looking at SIN, we are on the good side here. This is where there's no SIN. So we actually convection today, yay! And northern Minnesota, northern Wisconsin, they also get convection today. EHIs. I like this. A little spin here, and more of it up in Wisconsin. And then the 0-3, if you remember on the day of haze, that was off the charts at 12. Big white spot. Here, we're just barely getting a spin, and that's because of that unidirectional flow we're going to have to deal with. Okay. For reflectivity, first cells start going up in Kansas and Nebraska, from Grand Island down to, maybe Great Bend area, and then that explodes into a squall line all the way down to Dodge City, and then it begins to race northward, and maybe a couple of cells here. That looks like a tornado to me over central. Pretty good. Maybe we get a pair of them. Yeah, absolutely. This will be more fun. Okay. So let's look at the forecast sounding. Once again at the haze sleep in. Pretty good spreads here, and again, unidirectional, not the nice east winds we saw the other day, and of course it increases up there. A hodograph starts out pretty nice, and then gets all funky up there and speeds up. At the Grand Island here on McDonald's, right here on Oakland Street, forecast sounding shifting more west-southwesterly, so it's kind of east of us here. And again, look at all the unidirectional flow here. It's just about as parallel as it gets there. So you start on, just draw a straight line. There's no curvature to that flow. There. So, my recommended target? Haze. All right. We got strong mid-level upper flow from the southwest. That's a nice thing. But unidirectional straight wind profiles. That's a bad thing. There's no significant gap. So storms are going to fire before 0 Z. And it's going to be, early up and squall line, and then just trying to get there on the right side. Plenty of surface moisture. That's not a problem anymore, but it's only like 200 to 300 miles wide. I expect the squall line to develop 21 Z-ish, perhaps 22, 23 Z in that area, before 0 Z. Grand Island haze, I think the tornado chances are actually slim today, so I'm kind of concurring with SPC's 5%. Obviously, best early in the convection, and best with a tail end Charlie storm, wherever that may be. It could be haze, it could be just on the border here, or it could be even further south of haze. So we just have to kind of measure that as we go. And, oh, by the way, day 2. Back down to my old stomping grounds, Wichita Falls, Oklahoma City. So I was thinking about ahead for staying there. There's really no problem getting there from any place, either Hays, Salina, Great Bend, wherever, to get down there as a play on the Red River. And then day 3, just stay there. So you do your laundry, maybe get your car washed, your oil change, and then chase tornadoes on the Red River. All right, coming up next Tuesday is the new Storm Chaser special, Men versus Wind. Thank you very much. Any questions?
Here we are in Grand Island, Nebraska, and we have just left from the briefing, and now we are headed south with the convoy, with the Dows 6, 7, and 8, and the other scouts towards Kansas, I believe, right? Is that where we're going? Hays, Kansas. Back to Hays, and we're going to see what happens from there. That seems to be the best chance of having all the conditions together for the ingredients needed for maybe a tornado to pop up in one of the supercells later this afternoon. It is 10:36 Central Daylight Time, and Hays is approximately 2.5 to 3 hours away. So we should be there well after 1:30. We should be in good position for the rest of the day to see what happens. Hopefully it lives up to its moderate risk status, since it seems like every moderate risk that we have is a dud. It really does feel that way. Hi. Alright, more to come. What's up? So here we are, it's day 7 here in Grand Island, Nebraska, and we are at the Roadway Inn for getting ready to sit in on the briefing with Dows and the Chase team out here. So it's really cool. We've got Dow 6 and Dow 7 out here today. A few mezzanettes, mobile mezzanettes been hanging out over there, and as well as over here. Very cool. Looks like it's going to be a very interesting day. This is the best chase day we've had this entire chase here. We've got a moderate risk for this area. We're at the bullseye where everything is going to occur. Good stuff. Conditions are looking mighty favorable for any supercells that develop tornadically. So hopefully we get to see something. We're going to sit on that briefing, see what they say, and always good. The last time that we sat in a briefing was in Dumas, Texas in 2010. It was day 8, and we saw a confirmed tornado later on. So always good stuff when we get a chance to sit in on our briefings. Have some fun.
They're like, oh, you're giving a tour?
That's actually the Dow 6.
That's not the most important Dow.
That's not the best one.
No, but they're all important, but it's not the one where the man is. The man, the myth, the legend, Josh Worman.
That's just like a random kid that's
I guess, I don't know.
That's pretty cool, man.
I think he belongs to someone. Or me.
Hey, Adam,
Someone
what do you think about today?
Pretty exciting. I'm glad that we chose to go the southern route. Hopefully we'll see.
For once, we go to southern route for the first time.
Yeah.
It's always the northern route.
And then Texas tomorrow. Adam, why did you give me a meatball?
What's even better is if we stage in Texas in a Helmart.
And then go to the big Texas.
I don't know if we'll get that far. Maybe.
I hope.
Maybe after Tuesday.
Maybe just across.
Because the next 2 days are kind of like Eastern Texas. Maybe after the second day, we could probably head that way. It might be a down day. Might be.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. You know how that's been this year.
Fat chance on this trip.
It's been an active chase.
We're gonna do laundry.
No.
Use, reuse, recycle. I can't. I'm out of socks tomorrow. Turn them inside out. You'll be fine.
Ew.
Buddy.
MD, what's up?
I don't know what we got here. We're gonna see. Hopefully something.
Hey Shizzle, we're gonna see some tornadoes.
We're gonna see some tornadoes.
Adam's reading intensely to read the next message discussion. I'm broadcasting live. We have tremendous winds right now.
That's what we're
Gusts
gonna-
up to 30 miles per hour.
Next year. Live broadcast.
Instead of doing this,
Yeah.
I'm just gonna do it. And I'm gonna do it in my dramatized voice too.
We'll have it stream on the internet, our entire chase.
I'm gonna dramatize everything that I see. The Cape is at a whopping 1,000 joules per kilogram with a sin of -600.
No. The Cape is at 500.
-500.
Yeah.
Which means there will not be any tornadoes today. Which is
The dew points over in Colorado are like
Dew points.
-5.
temperatures, dew point temperatures in Colorado, -5. The chances of you seeing severe weather will never happen. Not on this state. Not on this globe. Oh, storm chasing Mars.
Yeah, that's Jupiter.
Yeah, the big red dot. Takes up 3 Earths. You know that.
Forget Jupiter. Let's go to the sun.
Neptune.
Neptune would be cool too.
Ice tornadoes. Guaranteed up there. Methane, ice tornadoes. Frozen methane tornadoes. That's what's up, man. Adam? What's the chances?
It says watch likely. Talk about the dry line.
See.
Setting up. Saying that on the eastern fringe of the dry line and the western fringe of the moisture boundary, that they expect storms to start firing in the next 1 to 2 hours.
Okay.
Tornado chance, they said, are marginal just because there isn't a whole lot of
Moisture.
there is the jet streak rounding Grace to the trough, but the upper level winds are pretty much parallel to the surface because winds are out of the south right now, so
No, I'm coming back out.
don't have a lot of veering with height.
True.
So just wait and see.
True. All it takes is one.
I came to get my iPad. Oh, that's it. You still need it for booking?
Not at the moment. If we want to wait and see.
Yeah, we'll wait and see.
Scott and I are convinced that AT&T gives you a false signal just to make you think you have service and you don't leave.
You think so?
Absolutely.
Amen.
Okay.
This loaded in like 10 seconds. This one took 8 minutes, I swear, to load the same page.
Yeah. This is 4G right now, so.
Yeah, I'm at 3G.
Hello.
Alright.
It's Matt's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Is this yours?
Yes.
Ready to rock and roll?
I hope so.
Maybe.
Garbage.
You ready to rock and roll?
We have everybody? Yeah.
Ready.
Alright.
We are ready to go.
Woo!
Can I get a cheer from everybody?
Hey.
Woo!
Alright.
Let's go.
Where's Thor? Good.
Alright. See you on the way. Chase move. Alright. A little after 5. It's 5:03. We're at Hays, Kansas. And we're on standby still, but this cell here has begun to grow pretty fast. It's came out of nothing to something pretty big. So it's steadily growing as it so it's still growing. But it's nice. It's getting there. Very good. It's the
See Jason running with the car.
Yeah, you've been on that, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look at him, look at him, look at him. It's coming back out. Yeah, let's get in the kitchen.
Jason, it's coming out again. Run, Jason, run. Aw, that car ruined my picture.
It's coming back, watch.
If that thing goes out, I quit at life.
He went back.
Check it.
See it come back out.
Oh my god.
It's coming back.
Vaffanapoli.
Get in the kitchen!
Dr. Meitzen, a couple, and the whole research team that are in that group there, they were debating on which of the two that they should go to, and ultimately decided that we're going to pursue this one down here to the south because it's got the most, well, now it has the most organized, you know, it's the most organized cell. So, let's see. Off. So that's the one that we're targeting right now. There are a couple further south if, for whatever reason, this one should die out. And what we were talking about earlier, and if these two start to further develop because of the outflow of this one, then at least we're already in position. So we just have to wait and see.
Dodge City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for southwestern Ellis County.
Yes, man. Yeah, it came across the radio and it interrupted. Call me maybe.
Even if there is. There we go.
Hear that? Only one of the radar. Okay, so he said that when we passed back here, only one of the radar trucks was scanning in the lowest level, and that was basically just to get a feel out the storms and get a game plan for how they're going to deploy. So they haven't actually entered full deployment yet. And then if you heard the second part he was talking about, the Dow 8 was hit by some debris and actually had one of the windows broken, and it was just after dusk, so he said nobody did anything wrong, it was just an unfortunate thing that happened while they were chasing.
The National Weather Service in Dodge City has issued a severe thunderstorm warning for Ellis County in central Kansas, northeastern Trego County and west central Kansas until 7:15 p.m. Central Daylight Time. At 6:25 p.m. Central Daylight Time, National Weather Service Doppler radar indicated a severe thunderstorm capable of producing large destructive hail up to baseball size and destructive winds in excess of 70 miles per hour. This storm was located 8 miles southwest of Yosemite and moving northeast at 50 miles per hour. Locations impacted include Antonino, Yosemite, Catherine, Ebram, Malero areas of Ellis and northeastern Trego counties. Be alert for rapidly changing weather conditions. If caught outside, seek a sturdy shelter and stay away from windows until the storm has passed. Repeating, a severe thunderstorm warning has been issued.
Some pretty epic stuff right here. One storm, two storms? Yeah. haze. We've been tracking this for a little bit now. The first cell here is actually, they're both thunderstorm warned, but this one has reported to have baseball-sized hail. We're still waiting to hear game plan from the Dalles too, so the Dublin wheels are scanning these storms as well that we've been following in the Convoy. So
Norfolk is under a tornado warning. That's the latest scan. Tilt 1.
Yeah. So just waiting for it to get out. Gonna get off the road. Go down.
I knew that was gonna happen. The car goes by and the wind
it blew the cone.
blew the cone.
Well, see, that's a good thing. The cone keeps going out the road. It doesn't stop
See a little bit, but there is a hint of a double rainbow. That's just a reflection.
Here's another supercell that has formed south of where we've been going, and we have been going south for a little while to catch on some back cells. This is one that's trailing the main line. It's more of a discrete cell. A little bit of rotation there, but there's no definitive large rotation with this cell. This is just south of Ellis, Kansas. This is at 7:55 Central Daylight Time. And further south, and just north of Jetmore, we have that cell there. And this is what it looks like. So this is the one that we're looking at right here, straight ahead to the west. We are there, and that's this cell over here that I showed you, and that's just south of us. So that's what's going on thus far. Nice rain shaft there. But otherwise, looking very good. No tornado, but looking good. Good structures.
Yeah. Getting the tail end of it. Yeah, okay.
For the latest information from the National Weather Service, keeping you informed
Oh
is
my
our
God,
number
look.
one priority.
Look in the center.
Yeah.
Look at that rapid.
Come on.
Little
Come
stuff
on,
at the
let
bottom.
me see.
Stuff at the bottom.
See if Shayna learns with
Let's see
3-point
if
turns
we
a little
can
better.
take a turn.
Better start.
Oh my
Yeah.
god,
You're gonna
no.
have to back up.
Nope, not even close.
No.
You can go find the fan.
Dr. Moses started yelling. It's lowering, lowering,
Lower. Come on.
right in there. You're on the left side of it.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for you to see this.
Oh wow.
But that's center. Look at the center,
Look,
though.
that's what I'm saying.
Yep.
Right in the center.
Yep.
Right in the center.
I wish I could get this on video.
Come on.
You getting it?
Yeah.
What's taking so long?
Come on. Come on. This is just crazy.
All right.
You can pass her while she's. Oh.
And I don't want to walk around there, buddy.
Yeah.
Down.
There is some rotation found in this cloud. This is a lowering base right in here, just underneath the sunset. It's hard to see, but there is definitely some rotation going on at this level. This has been steadily dropping down a little bit. It's not worn. It's not a tornado-worn cell, but it's surely dropping down, and it is very low. So Ellis, and we have seen some rapid rotation going on.
I mean, you don't have to bring it back up.
Zoom in a little bit and see.
I know, it's awesome. Look at this cell exploding.
Yeah.
You see that one going?
Yeah, you see.
You can see that.
The rotation is above us.
Like you want it.
I hope that you can see it.
Oh wow. Look.
Do you see the cell up front
That is
exploding?
insane.
Are we turning around?
Yes.
Okay.
Look at that cloud top.
I love this striation on that side. Just see it streaking out. Well, yes. They said in the evening hours the low-level jet will strengthen and increase rotation at the lowest level. Share at the low level.
Look at that.
That base is really low. This whole column.
Yeah. I'm getting recording.
Cracking.
Something.
You're cracking.
Yeah, am I cracking?
Yeah, I'm recording now. All parts of the storm here.
It's a nice big bed.
No, apparently this thing's making a left.
Oh, so it just bends.
It's there. That's
A beautiful setting here of, you can see almost 3 supercells, even one further down here. That's an outline of one way down there. Have this one as well. This is the chase one that we saw earlier near Ellis, and then we have this one. Absolutely monster of a supercell. The beautiful striations of the clouds, even some amatis within there. Nice base to it. No, you see that low?
yeah, I got it.
You see?
He's getting it for us. What? Ooh.
You see that? I'm looking at it.